this is the infeed of our machine. This is where parts are loaded into the machine to be processed. As you can see, we do have a control panel with push buttons. We have a bed position controller. This is to dictate the part height or the bed opening. We do have load meters and then emergency stops in all four corners. There we have a few ways of controlling the bed opening. We can go ahead and use the toggle switch on the control panel itself. Or we have a hand wheel up here for fine adjustment. Maybe we just want to make a 1,000th adjustment. We can go ahead and use the hand wheel. We do have a digital readout here to tell us where the bed is open to. One of the neat features on this controller here, we can go ahead and program whatever thickness we need. So if we have gauged material and it's kind of an oddball size, we might have, let's say, 111 thousandths or something. We can go to the controller, hit program, 0.111, enter start. The machine is automatically going to go to that position. So typically what we do here is we will measure the thickness of the part and then type in the thickness into the controller, and once the machine inside is set up properly, we can just go ahead and run it and that'll be calibrated. Next thing I'd like to do here is show you the inside of the machine. This machine here is 37 inches wide. We can build these in different configurations from one head all the way up to four heads, and any combination of either a wide belt or a Scotch-Brite brush, barrel brush. For your test that I did, I simulated 3 abrasive belts. So this style here, for the 80 grit and 120 grit. We use the 80 grit here to go ahead and remove all the pits for the stock removal, and the 120 grit to kind of finish it off. So that would be the 3 heads here, 3 of these wide belts. We walk around here to the back of the machine, the outfeed. We do have an air knife dryer, which is incorporating some squeegee rolls also. So we actually have an air blade on the top and on the bottom, and it's pointed slightly back towards the machine here to blow all the coolant and water off as the part comes through, along with the squeegee rolls to help squeegee the water off. We do have a standalone blower unit. This is for the air knife dryer itself. So we have the 2 hoses here going to either blade. In the back of the machine, we do have a manifold for the coolant spray headers that are inside the machines. And we also have a distribution block for the high-speed bearing greasing, the greasing of the high-speed bearings. This one here is showing us an option of the auto lube system. This will give us the ability to grease the high-speed bearings for the contact drums and the idler rolls automatically. If this option was not installed here, we would actually have one single grease zerk here, where a maintenance guy or service tech can come in, put their grease gun on that zerk, and pump it, and it'll grease all the bearings at once. So that's more of a manual thing, but we also have the auto lube system. Down here is our quick disconnect. This is for our filtration system unit, and I will show you that here a little bit later in the video. But these are quick disconnects, so we can go ahead and disconnect the filtration unit and actually roll it away from the machine here so we can maintenance or service it if need be. We do have our air regulators here for the belts tracking and belt tension of the abrasive belts themselves, along with the main air in. Electrical box is typically loaded, located on the inboard side of the machine. Single hookup, electrical hookup here, along with the air, and this machine is good to go. All of our components inside the electrical box are UL listed. So we get these machines tested by Underwriters Laboratory, and they come out and test their machines for UL certification. Everything, all the components are labeled nicely, and obviously they come with manuals, service manuals and stuff. So coming back around to the infeed of the machine, down below we have our filtration unit. We do not need a standalone dust collector unit. This is actually our dust collector here. We actually use this to collect the coolant and the fine particles. And we filter it and redistribute it here with the coolant pump back up to the spray headers. All of our LYNX machines do come with a little garden hose that is hooked up to the manifold in the back, so they can go ahead and use this to clean the machine out. at the end of the shift. It's highly recommended. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So on the filtration unit itself, we have media filter paper that's about 50 micron of arrestance. We have 250 yards that's rolled out onto a conveyor belt on this filtration unit. So we do have an integrated drain pan. As the coolant is spraying on the parts, it's all collected in the drain pan and then it's funneled down into the filtration unit. The paper itself will capture all the fine particulates before it goes back down to the holding tank to be redistributed to the machine. Neat feature of this here is we do have a float switch on the inside of this conveyor bed. So as the particulates build up and the water level rises, it'll trip that float switch and automatically advance this this media here. So, and then we do have a catch tray on the back of the machine to catch all the particulates and the filtration paper when it's dirty. And if all else fails, if the float switch by chance does fail, we do have a manual jog switch on the conveyor here to manually jog it if need be. So we do have a sight glass for the water level on the filtration unit too. You know, over time here the water will evaporate, so kind of gives you a gauge on how full the tank is. So I think now what I'd like to do here, I don't have your parts that we ran, but I do have some samples here. I'm going to try to simulate what we did for your sample report or for your sample testing and kind of give you a better understanding here of what this machine can do for your parts. All right, before we go ahead and run your parts, I did want to go ahead and change in the bracelet belt and show you how easy it is. So on the sanding drum itself, we do have a quarter turn quick lock. So it's just a quarter turn. Pull the handle up and then the swing plate comes out. We do have a pneumatic tension switch here for the bracelet belt tension. Go ahead and loosen that up. Pull the old belt off. New belt can go on. Pretty quick. Okay, so I've went over the machine here a little bit, and now I'd like to run a part. I do have some stainless steel gauge material. With the caliper, I'm going to go ahead and measure the thickness of this part. So 103.5. So I'll go over the bed position controller here and type in 104. Machine's automatically going to the 104 thickness of this part. Now it's just a matter of starting the machine and running the part. Starting the conveyor, coolant system, air knife dryer, and then the sanding head itself. So there's the finished product. This is a 150 grit silicon carbide belt, one drum, one pass.